Hey YouTubies, how's it going? Alright, by the time I get this posted, it's probably going to be a little bit after the 4th, because the 4th was a couple days ago. But, got a little bit of a story / update to tell you about Dad. He is so lucky that he didn't get his butt bit the other day by Jax. I don't know what's going on between him and Jax. I don't know if Dad has teased him or if he's done something mean to him and Jax remembers it and doesn't want anything to do with Dad, or if Jax just senses that Dad's evil. I think so. But, because being a narcissist. But, the other day, Anthony and I were out on the back deck and we were grilling hamburgers and hot dogs for our 4th of July dinner. Anthony noticed a hornet's nest up in the corner. So Dad happened to come out, see what was up and see if we need any help and all that kind of stuff. Anthony told him about the hornet's nest. So he immediately goes in the house and gets the spray to kill the hornet's nest and get the hornet's nest knocked down. Just okay. I was okay with that. But Anthony was sitting in the chair in front of the barbecuer. We have a gas barbecuer on the back deck. And I was sitting in the porch swing. So there was like probably about 2 feet, 2.5 feet, something like that. Yeah, 2.5 feet. Room to get through. Well, Jax happened, just before Dad came out, happened to go over and started eating in his food bowl because he was hungry. Dad comes through to, get to the hornet's nest. And instead of waiting for Anthony to give Anthony a chance to scoot up, scoot the chair up, or for me to be able to get Jax moved out of the way for a little bit, he decided to just push through back behind Anthony and in between Jax. Jax did not like that because he's okay with me now most of the time, but there are times when he's eating he doesn't like to be disturbed, and especially when he's being shoved out of the way like Dad was doing. Dad just shoved his way through to get to the hornet's nest, and Jax was actually growling at him and showing his teeth. Dad was so lucky he didn't get bit. I have never seen Jax actually show teeth before when growling. He's never done that with me. He's never done that with Anthony. And I've never seen him do it with anybody else. Just Dad the other day. Dad didn't have common sense to either wait for Anthony to scoot up or me get Jax out of the way. He just shoved his way through like he was a bull in a china closet. China store, however you want to say it. I don't know what would have happened if he'd actually gotten himself bit. He probably would have actually put my dog down. Probably would have shot him. And it would have been his own fault for not showing respect to Jax or Anthony, for that matter. In my opinion, in order to have a good relationship with an animal, you have to show respect. Dad has no respect for anybody or anything. So I don't know about the man. I really don't know what he's done or if it's just his personality that Jax doesn't like. I do know that Dad, in past, with at least 5 dogs when I was younger, has beat them with a chain. I have that engraved in my memory, and I wish I could get it out because they're just so... No animal, no body, human or animal, should be treated in such ways. But that's how my grandpa did it. So that's how Dad is, that he's said many times, even just recently, that he's just did things how he was raised. So, and I do know that he has a tendency to tease animals. I've had many pets, cats, what's a bit, many cats that he's teased. One cat in particular, his name was Faith, is a tomcat. I know it sounds weird to have a tomcat named Faith, but long story short, Anthony and I were going for a walk one day. We used to go for walks all the time for about a mile. And at the time, one of many times, we were having trouble with our marriage. So on the way home, we were talking about having faith in each other to work on things. And that's about the time we seen a tiny little kitten just following us home. So we ended up, he looked like he didn't belong to anybody. He just kept following us. So we ended up taking him home. And because of it, we named him Faith as sort of a reminder. So Faith, though, had a little bit of a temper. He didn't like to be messed with, and he's okay if you pat him, but he didn't like to be teased. And Dad liked to tease animals. He liked to pull cats' tails and just, all kinds of things to tease and torment them when they don't like that kind of stuff. Or he tried to rub his belly when Faith was laying down and stuff like that. Most cats don't like their bellies rubbed. They're not like a dog. The dog is like, they roll over and show their tummy. It's like, pet me, pet me, pet me. Cat is like rolling over on their back, showing their bellies, like, pet me, I dare you. I'll sink those claws in and use my razor sharp claws and tear you apart. That sort of thing. Well, Dad, I warned him like 4 times that his teasing Faith is going to get him bit or scratched. But did he listen? No. So next thing I knew, he's getting bit big time by Faith, to the point he actually had to go to the hospital and I guess get antibiotics or something. I don't know what all happened. I don't know what kind of medicine he had to get, but he had to go to the hospital for it. So, and I found out later, I'm sure this has happened many times at other places too, but found out later that he'd done the same thing at one of their friends' house. Teased their cat and got himself bit. Of course, then he got bit pretty good, but that time he didn't have to go to the hospital to get medications. The man doesn't listen. He likes to just tease and torment things and be mean to things, to animals and stuff, people. God knows he's mean to me when I was a kid and young adult. But it's been almost 2 months since I've had Jax. And Jax still doesn't like him. Dad's been pretty much daily giving Jax treats to try to get Jax to warm up to him and everything. But it ain't happening. So. Oh, I forgot to tell you. When all this happened, Dad was pushing his way through to get between Jackson and Anthony's chair, to get through to get to the hornet's nest. Excuse me. And Jax was just growling and carrying on, showing those teeth and everything. Well, then Jax went over to Anthony and really quick and laid his head in Anthony's lap like, save me from the crazy old man. He likes Anthony really well. I think he's only growled at Anthony for just a short few seconds that very first day that we got him. Since then, he hasn't growled at Anthony at all. He loves seeing Anthony. He gets excited when he sees Anthony. So, I just don't get Dad. A lot of ways I understand him now that I know he's a narcissist. Back when I was younger, I didn't know there was such a word. I don't know if people talked about stuff like that back then. I just knew he was a jerk. But now that the last couple of years that I'm educating myself on those types of subjects, how do I say it? I'm learning to understand him more, because now that I'm learning more, I know that he is a product of his upbringing, which was horrific, and that is why he's a narcissist. Some ways I feel bad for him. I have sympathy for him, for real. Because it's not totally his fault that he's a narcissist. It is the way he was raised. And from what I've been reading, if any of you know on things, if I'm wrong on this, please, tell me. I'll stand corrected. But from what I've been reading, when somebody goes through a traumatic experience when they're a child like that, they go one of two ways. Either become a narcissist or an empath. Whereas he chose to be a narcissist. Me, I had a bad childhood because of him. And I went the empathic way. So like total opposites on so many levels. But at least learning about narcissism, I understand him more to a degree. At least as far as the knowledge that I'm learning about narcissism. But yet, parts of me don't understand him, because in my mind, you would think common sense would tell you to change your ways. If things aren't going in a good way. You see what I mean? I don't know if that makes sense or not. I mean, that's just how I think. I would think that common sense, then again, Dad lacks common sense. Pushing the dog out of the way while he's eating was a pure example of that. So, anywho, it's the ongoing saga of dealing with Dad. I've always wished he'd change his ways from being a jerk. Back then, you know, when I was younger, I just thought he was a jerk. I always wished he'd change, but I'm finding out that most narcissists, if not all, I don't know for sure, I think some have the ability, once they realize some things of their ways. But I know most narcissists don't change their ways. And the fact that he's 89 years old, or no, gonna be 89 years old in September, I know he's set in his ways and he's not going to change, unfortunately. So I'm just having to deal with it. And it's very stressful, the crap that he pulls. This is just one example of many, many, many things he's done or said. Anywho, I'm going to scoot. If you guys are new to our channel, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, share, and hit that notification. And stay tuned for the ongoing saga of drama. The days of our lives. Anyhow, catch you guys later. Bye-bye.